Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start episode 729 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Chapter 1282, One Punch. Chen Yuan was truly a bit surprised. He hadn't expected that Hualinger and Long Yin could, relying purely on their own strength, easily pass through the first layer of the barrier. I wonder if, without using Qian Yuan's sword, Fire God Seal, Qian Yuan's Spirit Pearl, Bronze Ancient Scroll, and the Dao Mountain Map, the 5 ultimate artifacts, I could break the first layer of the barrier using only my own strength. Chen Yuan murmured quietly in his heart. He took a step forward and directly approached the spatial barrier. Who's this kid? Only Galaxy 3rd Stage. Could he also be trying to covet the peak venerable inheritance? A nobody. He saw 2 Galaxy 1st Stage girls break through the barrier and thinks he can do it too. Those 2 girls are clearly exceptional. One carries the 7th Stage civilization artifact, the Myriad Thunder Banner, and has comprehended the Thunder Law, likely beyond 2nd layer 100%, possibly even 3rd layer. The other cultivates the Chaos Divine Fire technique, possesses over 10 types of cosmic fire, plus the Holy Fire Spirit Pearl, a unique artifact. The power they unleashed in such a short time cannot be judged by ordinary cultivation stages. A group of young prodigies, unfamiliar with Chen Yuan, discussed casually. Though the fame of Yin Zong had already resounded throughout the Inheritance Holy Land, these prodigies who had entered the 6th Holy Land earlier didn't know him personally, which was normal. Boom! Chen Yuan casually threw a punch at the spatial barrier. The next moment, the barrier, originally unshakably solid, even when Xianming Saint raised a 6th Stage civilization artifact, it couldn't budge, collapsed with a roar under Chen Yuan's single punch. A 10-meter-wide hole appeared. No ultimate artifact was used. No world-shaking technique was prepared. Just an ordinary, casual punch? All the young prodigies were dumbfounded, choking, petrified, terrified. This? Did he just smash a Galaxy 10th Stage spatial barrier with his bare body? WTF. How is this possible? I, at Galaxy 5th Stage, tried everything and couldn't break this barrier. And he, Galaxy 3rd Stage, casually punches it open without even charging. Who exactly is he? Swordheart Saint's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Luckily, he hadn't agreed to a one-on-one fight with Yin Zong earlier. Otherwise, one punch would have been fatal. Ahem. His display should be considered normal. After all, he's someone who broke the primordial god emperor's record. Peony Goddess, calm but admiring, said, Yin Zong? He is Yin Zong. A female prodigy at Galaxy 5th Stage immediately exclaimed. 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds. 10 seconds passed. Yet Chen Yuan hadn't crossed the barrier. Even though he hadn't passed through, the hole in the barrier still rapidly repaired itself before their eyes. That is to say, if someone crosses the hole, it closes immediately. If no one passes, the hole heals more slowly, but only for 10 seconds at most. Anyone want to pass? Let's make a deal. Chen Yuan said calmly, one hand behind his back. The moment he spoke, Beiming Saint, Swordheart Saint, Peony Goddess, and more than 10 prodigies who had not yet chosen a venerable inheritance became eager and restless. Their eyes burned with desire. Yin Zong, are you saying you're willing to help us break through the barrier? Xianming Saint hurriedly asked. Of course. Helping others and accumulating virtue is my principle. I'll help you break the barrier and enter if you provide 1 6th Stage civilization artifact, or a treasure of equivalent value. Will you consider it? Chen Yuan said casually, as if he were asking for a pile of junk rather than a 6th Stage civilization artifact. This? You're charging for it? Asking for a 6th Stage civilization artifact outright. A 6th Stage civilization artifact is a top-level treasure that only Cosmic Overlord level or above can forge. Even if we possess one, most are borrowed from our sects or families as life-saving artifacts. After use, they must be returned. Asking for one outright, that's harsh. A Galaxy 4th Stage prodigy complained indignantly. If you're unwilling, then fine. This is a peak venerable inheritance. If you think 1 6th Stage civilization artifact is less than the value of the peak inheritance, consider my words as nothing. Chen Yuan shrugged. He was just raising the price on the spot. One punch equals 1/6 stage civilization artifact. No loss in this deal. Deal. Hope you honor your words. Qianming Saint's gaze sharpened. He immediately removed the ownership mark on his life artifact, the Qianming blade, and handed it to Chen Yuan. What a ruthless man. He even gave up his life artifact to get the peak venerable inheritance. Good. Qianming Saint has both vision and courage. Chen Yuan smiled slightly, taking the Qianming blade. He then threw another punch at the barrier. A new hole appeared. Although Qianming Saint was reluctant, his eyes gleamed with excitement as he decisively passed through the barrier. Anyone else want to go? After this, the chance won't come again. What should I do? Should I take advantage of Yenzong breaking the barrier and sneak in first? No, that's too risky. Someone capable of casually punching a Galaxy 10th stage barrier. Their physical strength might already rival a low-level cosmic overlord. Forcing it would be suicidal. But this ancient sword has accompanied me for 1,000 years, containing top-tier Sword Dao inheritance. Must I just hand it over? Even if it's a top Sword Dao inheritance, it's still just a damaged artifact. Compared with a peak venerable inheritance, it's incomparable. Perhaps if I get the peak venerable inheritance, the island will also contain new 6th or even 7th stage civilization artifacts left by the peak venerable. They shouldn't be stingy, right? Sword Heart Saint hesitated. Finally deciding to take the risk, he said, Deal. Chen Yuan, this is the ancient sword. Over 2,000 years ago, while exploring an abandoned planet, I chanced upon this peerless divine blade. Though somewhat damaged and now only capable of unleashing the peak power of a level 5 civilization artifact, it contains within it an incomparably profound supreme Sword Dao inheritance. In that regard, it is no weaker than an ordinary level 6 civilization artifact. If the sword were whole, it might well have been a level 7 civilization artifact at its peak. You say it's level 7, then level 7 it is. Chen Yuan casually accepted the ancient sword. Ding. Hidden seal detected on the ancient sword. Consume 200,000 enhancement points to unlock. Well then, since it wasn't easy for you to part with it, I'll reluctantly accept it. Chapter 1283, Seal Unlocked. Chen Yuan frowned in disdain as he stored the ancient sword into his spatial ring. Good grief. When the Qian Yuan sword was unlocked, it only required 50,000 reinforcement points. But this broken sword, to unlock its seal, it required 200,000 reinforcement points? Maybe it really was a 7th stage civilization artifact. Sword Heart Saint must have lost his mind. Picking up a sesame seed but throwing away a watermelon. Even a peak venerable inheritance probably wouldn't casually grant a 7th stage civilization artifact to a transmission saint. With just a galaxy stage cultivation level, a 6th stage civilization artifact would already be generous. As for those inheritance techniques, no matter how powerful, whether you can ultimately cultivate to the supreme stage depends on you personally. The sword intent sealed inside this ancient sword was already not weaker than a venerable inheritance. Abandoning your original path to take a new one might not even suit you. You really are smart. Boom. Chen Yuan threw another punch, smashing open the barrier again. Ha! Peak venerable inheritance. This saint is coming. Sword Heart Saint said, satisfied, and stepped through the hole. Chen Yuan, I don't have a 6th stage civilization artifact to trade, but I have a galaxy treasure map. There are said to be 3 in total. If all 3 are found, they can lead to the tomb of a cosmic god emperor. Peony Goddess produced a map, made from some unknown material. If this treasure map were real, its value would be incalculable, far beyond a 7th stage civilization artifact. The tomb of a cosmic god emperor is nothing like the rewards in a transmission Holy Land. Most transmission Holy Land rewards are left behind casually by cosmic-level experts, usually only a small fraction, maybe 1%, even 1,000th, of their true wealth. Most of these experts are still alive. But the tomb of a cosmic god emperor is completely different. It's likely the tomb of a cosmic god emperor who accumulated billions of years' worth of strength and left everything behind at their death. Such a tomb contains all of the expert's possessions from life. Of course, most of these treasure maps are fake. Hard to tell true from false. If it's valuable, it could really be priceless. If it's worthless, it could be trash. Even Peony Goddess herself wasn't sure. Chen Yuan took the map. He couldn't tell if it was real or fake either. But seeing Peony Goddess's favor rating for him had already reached 94 points. Fake or not, it didn't matter. Good. I'll take this treasure map, Chen Yuan said, then threw another punch. The barrier burst open again. Thank you, Chen Yuan. You've helped me twice already. Peony will repay you greatly one day. My gratitude won't just be words. Peony Goddess looked at him alluringly, then stepped into the opening. After seeing the smooth trades of the previous three, everyone else realized that trading a 6th-stage civilization artifact for a peak venerable inheritance seemed like a huge gain. 100% profit. Chen Yuan, I've erased the spiritual imprint from the heavenly demon cauldron. Please accept it. Chen Yuan, this is the devouring gold battle armor. It can consume countless metals in the universe, automatically covering your body. It can resist attacks from cosmic overlords without breaking. The more metals consumed, the higher the level and the stronger the defense. Chen Yuan, this is, over a dozen items were exchanged in succession, and they had paid nothing. A completely costless transaction. Pure profit. Chen Yuan's moves left the other young prodigies envious. He had already collected over a dozen 6th-stage civilization artifacts. This guy was insane. If I had known, I wouldn't have activated the venerable inheritance so early. Even though I gained a high cosmic venerable inheritance and already benefited greatly, it still can't compare with a peak venerable inheritance. Wu Gang Saint said wistfully. Yuan. Chen Yuan. At that moment, 2 more Galaxy first-stage prodigy girls flew in. One wore blue, the other purple. Both were graceful, with exquisite curves and stunning aura. Blue Xingyue immediately rushed into Chen Yuan's arms. Though they had been apart for less than a day, it felt like a year. You came at the right time. Xylan, you haven't obtained the venerable inheritance yet, right? Not yet. I've been waiting in the 6th Holy Land for you. Once I found your coordinates, I came immediately. Good. You made the right choice. We'll pass through the barrier together. You go first, I'll follow right after. Chen Yuan said. He suddenly gathered his strength and threw another punch. Boom. This punch, perhaps accidentally too powerful, created a 100-meter-wide opening in the massive barrier. A formation base was completely shattered. It was unclear if Chen Yuan had repeatedly struck the same spot too many times, or if this punch just created too large a hole. The barrier's repair force. This time, it failed to restore, leaving a permanent 100-meter breach. Blue Xingyue, Xylan Goddess, and Chen Yuan passed through the hole one after another. The barrier still couldn't repair. Chen Yuan now confirmed. This opening would never heal. WTF? Yin Zong actually broke the formation base of the barrier? The path to the peak Venerable Inheritance Islands is completely open now. Haraha. The others spent a 6th-stage civilization artifact for entry, but we can go for free. Awesome. So what if we go? We've already used the Transmission Saint token to join the High Cosmic Venerable. No chance at peak Venerable Inheritance anyway. I don't care about inheritance. I just want to stroll through. Those Galaxy 3rd and 4th stage trash, weaker than me, got the peak Venerable Inheritance. I can't stand it. I want to mess with them. At the Inheritance Islands, chaos erupted. Those who had spent huge costs to enter the barrier found the entrance completely destroyed. Anyone could now enter freely. Their faces turned green. Damn it. My shimming blade. If I had known something like this would happen, I never would have lost my life-bound artifact. Arg. My heavenly demon cauldron. This is way too disgusting. I had just stepped inside, and the next moment you blasted a permanent hole in it. If you're not convinced, why don't you go challenge Chen Yuan to a duel? Who knows? Maybe you can even get your heavenly demon cauldron back. Forget it. I admit defeat. After Chen Jin stepped into the barrier, he casually pulled out the ancient sword. System, unlocked the ancient sword seal. Ding. 200,000 enhancement points deducted. Host's current balance. 810,000 enhancement points. Seal unlocked. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.